Alright, shalom to the elect of Israel. This is the second book of Maccabees, alright, and we already read the first book, alright, and you can check the playlist in the description box, okay, and this is our history, right, so you want to read that, alright, you want to know that, what, happened to our forefathers, alright, what happened to our heritage, basically, alright, because we lost our identity according to the Bible, alright. And you will find it out also if you read the Apocrypha, but especially the Book of Maccabees, for the beginning, maybe, alright. And of course, you have to know the Bible before you read the Apocrypha, alright. But at least that, right? You should know the commandments, and the sayings in the Bible, alright. Of course, the Apocrypha is part of the Bible, you see. That's why, I can type it in here, alright, the King James Version, 1611, the year 1611. And, it comes out because it's part of the Bible, right? But, for beginners, it's maybe, not from big advantage, alright, to, start reading the Bible with the Apocrypha, alright? You would start with the commandments, and then you read the Gospels because they work on the commandments in the Torah, all right. And the sayings of Paul, and these other apostles, all right, they all based on the Torah, on the commandments, on the first 5 books of Moses, all right, on on the basics, So this is the first book, all right, and we will read chapter 1, the first chapters allowed, and we will read to chapter 2, all right. The brethren, the Jews that be at Jerusalem and in the land of Judea, wish unto the brethren, the Jews that are throughout Egypt, health and peace. So to be exact, all right, only the southern kingdom Israelites were called Jews. If you want to say it exactly, all right, but the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are Israelites, all right. So they are all Israelites, but the Jews are actually, to be exactly, all right, the southern kingdom. Okay, Levi, Benjamin, and Judah, all right. If you look at the word Judah, all right, you will see that it has something to do with Jews, okay. You see, even you have the land of Judea, you see, so that's obvious, right? Wish unto the brethren, the Jews that are throughout Egypt, health and peace. God be gracious unto you, and remember his covenant that he made with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, his faithful servants, alright, and give you all an heart to serve him, and to do his will with a good courage and a willing mind, and open your hearts in his law and commandments, and send you peace, and hear your prayers, and be at one with you, and never forsake you in time of trouble. And now we be here praying for you, what time as Demetrius reigned in the 109th year, we the Jews wrote unto you in the extremity of trouble that came upon us in those years, from the time that Jason and his company revolved from the Holy Land and Kingdom, and burned the pork and shed innocent blood. Then we prayed unto the Lord, and were healed. We offered also sacrifices and fine flour, and lighted the lamps, and set forth the loaves. And now see that ye keep the Feast of Tabernacles in the month Keslu. See, so it's even talking about the commandments, alright, that you should keep it, alright, and that you basically have to go by the Hebrew calendar, alright, not Esau's calendar, the Gregorian calendar, I think it's called, but the Hebrew calendar, alright. If you stay tuned with GMS, the Great Millstone, you will, of course, not forsake the laws, alright, when it comes to the Hebrew calendar, alright, because we teach that, and you will find the information on it, alright, in our channels, okay. And Keslu is a Hebrew month, all right, as we can read it, all right. In the 104th current 8th year, the people that were at Jerusalem and in Judea and the council and Judah sent greeting and healed unto Aristobulus, King Ptolemy's master, who was of the stock of the anointed priests, and to the Jews that were in Egypt. Insomuch as God had delivered us from great perils, we thank Him highly as having been in battle against the king. All right, and if you read something like Jews in Egypt, or Jews in Syria, you see, you always have to think about that we should not abhor, all right, an Egyptian or an Syrian, all right, because Abraham was a stranger in the land of Syria, all right, so he was not a Syrian, all right, he was an Israelite, so to speak, but he was not a Syrian, but he was a stranger in the land of Syria, all right. And also the Israelites were in Egypt, but best example is Moses. He were different than these people, so he pretty much not freaked out, but he left the place. All right, so lucky. Um, he just found out that he's different. All right, and he just left the place, right? And basically, um, that shows you, right, that we should not abhor these people. There's actually a commandment to that. All right, I don't talk too much. I just want to read, but you should know that. All right, it's written in the Bible. All right, you should not abhor an Egyptian or an Syrian. All right, because the word there is Syrian, not Edomite, because some people actually read this. All right, and they think it's talking about Edomites and Egyptians. All right, it's not talking about Edomites and Egyptians. It's talking about Syrians and Egyptians. Okay. Um, you know that's important also to know, right? So of course, you don't take the woman of them, right? You don't take, uh, you know, not women of these other nations better, all right? Uh, today we're pretty much mixed up, all right? All the people here on earth are pretty much mixed up, all right? But if your line goes back to so-called Negro, Latino, or Native American on your father's side, all right, you're an Israelite according to the Bible, okay? Or an Israelite foreigner, all right, if you don't look like a so-called Negro, Latino, or Indian, okay? According to the Bible, you're an Israelite foreigner then, all right? So it's not about melanin, all right? Because melanin will in no way help you. Let's say it like that, all right? With spiritual eyes, all right? Okay. Insomuch as God had delivered us from great perils, all right? And if you look real quick to the word God, Salak. All right, or better Lord, all right, we can see that the word for Lord that is actually used here in this website is the word Yahweh, all right, because the one and only name of God and His Son is Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, all right. And if we say Yahweh Bar Hashem Yahweh Shai, it means something like, in the name of His Son, all right, Bar Hashem, you see. In the 104th current 8th year, the people that were at Jerusalem and in Judea and the council and Judah sent greeting and healed unto Aristobulus, King Ptolemy's, alright, verse 11. Insomuch as God had delivered us from great perils, we thank Him highly as having been in battle against the king. For He had cast them out that fought within the holy city. For when the leader was come into Persia, and the army with him that seemed invincible, they were slain in the temple of Nanea by the deceit of Nanea's priests. For Antiochus as thought he would marry her. I think Persia is something like Iran or Iraq today, alright? Some of these two, alright? As thought he would marry her, came into the place, and his friends that were with him to receive money in name of Adori, which when the priests of Nanea had set forth, and he was entered with a small company into the compass of the temple, they shut the temple as soon as Antiochus was come in, and opening a private door, alright, of the roof, they threw stones like thunderbolts, and struck down the captain, hewed them in pieces, smote off their heads, and cast them to those that were without. Blessed be our God in all things, alright, who had delivered up the ungodly, alright, and I think the word for God, alright, even on this website, is, I believe, uh, I think something like Elohim, alright? I think they write something like Elohim, alright? And for Lord, I actually know that because I looked it up once. The word for Lord being used here again is Yahweh, alright? Not everything is correct in this Bible. Of course, it goes off on certain things, especially with the description, alright? But there is no perfect platform to to say everything is perfect. Of course not, alright? Because the only thing that's actually perfect, alright, is the Bible of King James, alright, 1611, okay? That's the only perfect Bible, alright? You have the words there, alright, and then you have to go by to the language yourself, right? You can't just, the Bible wasn't written in English, so you have to look up the words yourself, so that's why it's perfect, right? But if you have you know, the different meanings here that are actually not true, alright, it's, pretty much not perfect, right? So the only perfect thing here, alright, to read is actually the King James Version 1611 with the Apocrypha, alright, in English, if you want it like that, you see. And a brother says that also always, the brothers who keep the commandments and the faith according to the King James Version Holy Bible, alright, that's what he's basically saying in his intro, right? And it's true, man, alright. I think it's the brother Dabar, alright, DRBRR, alright, space KABASH, alright, Kabash, Dabar Kabash, and he even has a second channel now, alright, backup channel. It's just true, man, alright. It's pretty much the only scripture that's actually perfect, alright? And it was also written by an Israelite, okay? Therefore, whereas we are now purposed to keep the purification of the temple upon the 25th day of the month Caslu, we thought it necessary to certify you thereof, that you also might keep it at the feast of the tabernacles and of the fire which was given us when Nehemiah offered sacrifice after that he had builded the temple and the altar. Alright? And the Feast of Tabernacles, alright, the Feast of Tabernacles is in the 7th month, alright? The Feast of Tabernacles is in the 7th month, okay? For when our fathers were led into Persia, the priests that were then devout took the fire of the altar privately and hid it in an hollow place of a pit without water, where they kept it sure so that the place was unknown to all men. Now after many years, when it pleased God, Nehemias, being sent from the king of Persia, did send of the posterity of those priests that had hid it to the fire. But when they told us, they found no fire but thick water. Then commanded he them to draw it up and to bring it. And when the sacrifices were laid on, Nehemias commanded the priests to sprinkle the wood and the things laid thereupon with the water. When this was done, and the time came that the sun shone, which afore was hid in the cloud, there was a great fire kindled, so that every man marveled. Uh, some push message, alright. Fox News, alright. Propaganda news, alright. But sometimes, I just watch it to see what's actually happening, alright. But they can pretty much play with everything on this news. Alright, on this news channel, alright. And they play also very often with numbers, right? But And the priests made a prayer whilst the sacrifice was consuming, I say, both the priests and all the rest, Jonathan beginning and the rest answering thereunto, as Nehemiah did. And the prayer was after this manner, O Lord, Lord God, creator of all things, who art fearful and strong and righteous and merciful, and the only and gracious King. Alright. The only giver of all things, the only just, almighty, and everlasting, thou that deliverest Israel from all trouble, and didst choose the fathers and sanctify them, right? received the sacrifice for thy whole people is people Israel, and preserve thine own portion and sanctify it. All right. So Israel, Yasharala in the Paleo Hebrew is the Lord's portion. All right, and He will not forsake it, nor will He, break His covenant with us. All right. Okay. Read Romans chapter 9. All right. Gather those together that are scattered from us, deliver them that serve among the heathen, look upon them that are despised and abhorred. All right. Yashwala is abhorred and despised. And let the heathen know that thou art our God. All right. That will happen in this last time. Punish them that oppress us and with pride do us wrong. All right. And this is in Psalms. Let's think about, but I think it was in Psalm 68 or something, all right? Not Psalms, no, in Proverbs, all right? Proverbs. Just look it up, all right? Type in Google. They speak wickedly concerning oppression, all right? So they speak actually wickedly concerning oppression, all right? That's basically, all right, wicked, okay? Um, Punish them that oppress us and with pride do us wrong. All right, so even if we have pride, all right, He will do us wrong. You see? So how much more the heathen? All right. Plant thy people again in the holy place, as Moses had spoken. And the priests sung psalms of thanksgiving. Now when the sacrifice was consumed, Nehemiah commanded the water that was left to be poured on the great stones. When this was done, there was kindled a flame, but it was consumed by the light that shined from the altar. So when this matter was known, it was told the king of Persia that in place where the priests that were led away had it the fire, there appeared water, and that Nehemiah had purified the sacrifices therewith. Then the king, enclosing the place, made it holy after he had tried the matter. And the king took many gifts and bestowed thereof on those whom he would gratify. And Nehemiah called this thing Naphtah, which is as much as to say a cleansing, but many men call it Nephi. All right. This is the first chapter, all right, and the next lesson, all right. You can call it a lesson because it's just that important, right? We will read the second chapter. Okay. Shalom.